The Galactic Council had made their decision with cold finality. Humanity, in their youthful arrogance, had violated the sacred accord of non-interference. The punishment was exile, not to some distant but habitable world, but to Kepler 438b, a planet the galaxy had long ago deemed worthless. Ambassador Jetal of the Valorian Consortium watched through the observation dome as the last human transport ship descended toward the gray, lifeless world below. His crystalline features reflected satisfaction. "Let them scratch at the dust," he said to his aide. "In 3 generations they will be extinct and the galaxy will forget they ever existed." The planet was a nightmare. Kepler 438b orbited a red dwarf star that bathed its surface in lethal radiation. The atmosphere was thin, barely breathable, laden with toxic compounds. The surface was a wasteland of volcanic rock and acidic dust storms. No water flowed. No vegetation grew. Even the most desperate colonization efforts by other species had failed here within months. The humans landed with nothing but basic survival equipment and the collective knowledge stored in their data cores. 18,000 souls, the last remnants of Earth's diaspora, stepped onto a world designed to be their tomb. But humanity had a trait the Galactic Council had failed to account for: spite. Captain Elena Vasquez stood on the ridge overlooking their makeshift camp, her breath forming small clouds in the thin atmosphere behind her rebreather. Around her, prefabricated domes dotted the landscape like metallic mushrooms. "We've been here 60 days, she told her chief engineer Marcus Chen. "Status report." Marcus pulled up a holographic display. "Water extraction from subsurface ice deposits is operational. We're recycling at 92% efficiency. The first batch of genetically modified algae survived in the biodomes, barely. We're 3 months from starvation, maybe 4 if we ration harder." Elena nodded grimly. "Then we work faster. Failure isn't an option." The humans worked. They dug deep into Kepler 438b's crust, creating vast underground complexes where the radiation couldn't reach. They discovered that beneath the dead surface lay geothermal vents rich in minerals and heat. They built their civilization downward, where other species had only looked at the hostile surface and surrendered. The genetically modified algae became crops. Mushroom farms flourished in the dark caverns. Engineers designed fusion reactors powered by deuterium, extracted from the subsurface ice. Every challenge was met not with despair but with grim determination and innovative solutions. "We adapt or we die" became humanity's unofficial motto. 50 years passed. The Galactic Council forgot about the humans as predicted. They were a footnote in history, a cautionary tale about hubris and the price of defiance. Then the probes arrived. Automated galactic survey drones on their centuries-long mission to chart dead worlds for potential resource extraction approached Kepler 438b. What they found defied all expectations. The surface was transformed. Massive solar arrays covered square kilometers of the previously barren landscape, feeding energy to the underground metropolis below. Atmosphere processors hummed, gradually enriching the air. Most shocking of all were the orbital structures: space elevators, shipyards, and defensive platforms bristling with weaponry. The probe's final transmission before being intercepted and dismantled showed cities carved into the planet's crust, glowing with life and activity. The human population had grown to over 3 million. Ambassador Jetal, now elderly and frail, sat in the emergency council session. The holographic display showed Kepler 438b in all its transformed glory. "This is impossible," whispered Councillor Thexelar of the Methane Collective. No species could survive there, much less thrive. But the evidence was undeniable. Worse, human ships had begun appearing at the edges of council space. They weren't asking for permission to return. They were expanding, claiming uninhabited systems, particularly the ones other species had deemed too hostile or resource-poor to bother with. The first diplomatic contact in 5 decades came when a human delegation arrived at the council chambers, uninvited and unexpected. They didn't come in the humble transports of exiles. They arrived in a warship twice the size of anything in the council's defensive fleet, its hull bearing scars that suggested it had been tested in combat. The human ambassador, a middle-aged woman named Dr. Sarah Okonkwo, addressed the assembled council with calm authority. "We received no help during our exile. We asked for none. We survived because we had to, and in surviving we became something new." Jetal found his voice, though it trembled. You were exiled for violating the sacred accord. You have no right to. Rights? Sarah's laugh was cold. You sent us to die. Instead, we thrived. We've colonized 17 worlds you deemed uninhabitable. We've developed technologies born from necessity that surpass yours. And we've built a military designed to ensure we are never at anyone's mercy again. The council chamber fell silent. Sarah continued, her tone softening slightly. We don't seek revenge. Revenge is a waste of resources. We seek recognition and autonomy. The human systems are now the Terran Coalition. We will trade with those who wish to trade. We will defend ourselves from those who wish us harm. And we will remember who tried to kill us with kindness and bureaucratic cruelty. She placed a data chip on the central podium. This contains our proposed treaty. You have 30 standard days to respond. After that, we will proceed with or without your blessing. The human delegation left the chamber as abruptly as they had arrived. Shaital accessed the data chip with trembling manipulators. The terms were fair but firm. Humans wanted equal standing in the Galactic Council, recognition of their territorial claims, and most unsettling of all, the right to offer refuge to any species facing extinction or exile. They're building an empire of the unwanted, his aide observed. Shaital realized the truth with a sinking feeling in his core. No, he said quietly. They're building an empire of survivors, and they're offering membership to anyone the galaxy has given up on. Within a decade, the Terran Coalition would include 6 other species, all refugees or exiles, all thriving under human guidance on worlds previously considered worthless. The galaxy's outcasts had found champions, and those champions had learned their lessons well. The Galactic Council never tried to exile another species again. The precedent was too dangerous. Because now everyone knew, if you tried to bury humanity, they would simply dig deeper, build stronger, and emerge when you least expected it. Not as victims, but as something far more terrifying. Equals.